Welcome to Bobali Gardens, Florence's masterpiece of outdoor theater, sculptural drama, and Renaissance landscaping. Think of it as the Medici family's backyard flex. Oh, you have a fountain? Cute. We have an entire mythological universe. As I walk through these paths framed by cypress trees, whispering leaves, and golden Tuscan light, I'm taking you through 4 extraordinary sculptures. We'll wander from biblical emotion, mythological tension, and rustic playfulness. Each one reveals something about Bobali as a garden of contrasts. Sacred and profound, dramatic and humorous, natural and theatrical.
So here we step into the Grotto of Adam and Eve, a space that feels simultaneously ancient and strangely intimate. The grotto itself is carved like a natural cave, cool, shadowy, and textured with rough stone. In contrast, Adam and Eve are carved out of marble and they're very smooth. This was a huge Renaissance obsession, this contrast. The Bobali grottos were built to create a dreamlike state, a pause in the experience of the garden. We find Adam and Eve carved with tender realism. Their bodies are gently inclined towards one another, yet filled with a kind of suspended tension, as if they're caught in the moment right before the fall. You can tell in their faces, they just ate that apple. The sculptor captures that emotional duality, the innocence and dread. Adam's face often appears more contemplative. Eve's expression leans more towards vulnerability. In 1590, Michelangelo Naturino created this sculpture, and he made the figures slightly elongated. Their forms are very refined, but not idealized to perfection. This is very in line with Renaissance naturalism. Their bodies are youthful, but they're not heroic like Greek gods. They're human, they're Adam and Eve. That's the emotional engine here. The tragedy of being human, the feeling of temptation and shame, and the sudden awareness of the consequences. In Bobali, a garden full of gods and heroes and allegories, Adam and Eve stand out because they're not divine, they're fragile. That's what you can see in their faces. They remind the viewer that in a place designed for Medici power and spectacle, vulnerability also does have a place. Let's climb up to somewhere a little bit different. A woman who said shame couldn't be me. This statue is pure confidence.
Standing tall above the southern slopes of Bobali is the Statue of Abundance. Unfortunately, she's being cleaned right now. Sculpted first by Bologna and later completed by Pietro Tacca, this figure radiates power, confidence, and a kind of serene, effortless authority. Look at her posture, upright, anchored, commanding. Her drapery is carved with lush folds that emphasize volume, heaviness, and richness. All visual metaphors for prosperity. She holds a cornucopia overflowing with fruits, grains, and a symbolic harvest. Renaissance viewers instantly recognized this as a statement about plenty, fertility, and good governance. Emotionally, she radiates a calm control. A sense of abundance isn't chaotic, but ordered. Almost maternal, but not soft. Her face is smooth and idealized, a hallmark of late Mannerist style. Symmetrical features, slightly distant gaze, and that controlled elegance Bologna was known for. She doesn't just stand in the garden, she oversees it. She's the spirit of the land, the protector of Florence's prosperity. Placed high above a sweeping vista, she links the garden to the city itself. She declares, where Bobali flourishes, Florence flourishes. Where the Medici reign, abundance reigns. But Bobali is not just about calm prosperity. Oh no. It also serves as a mythological drama with the intensity of a Renaissance soap opera. Let's drop into a world of Theseus and Helen.
Welcome to one of the most emotionally charged sculptures in the gardens, Helen and Theseus, carved by Vincenzo de Rossi around 1558 to 1560. We're standing in front of the Buontalentini Grotto, one of the most theatrical and architectural spaces in Italy, combining interesting natural formations, frescoes, and Renaissance sculpture. Here, myth becomes environment. Helen and Theseus is not a peaceful statue. It's full of motion, tension, and conflicting emotional energy. Helen's body twists away slightly, her torso angled in a gesture of resistance. Her hands are extended with uncertainty and fear. She's carved with that mannerist expressiveness that accentuates discomfort, elongated limbs, dynamic twist, and elegant but very unsettling tension. Theseus, gripping her firmly, embodies strength and determination. His stance is wide, grounded, and muscular, a visual anchor to Helen's instability. The emotional contrast is what makes the statue powerful. He is force. She is fear. He is certainty, and she is conflict. De Rossi gives us a snapshot into narrative climax, the abduction of Helen, persecutor to the Trojan War. You can particularly feel the push and pull carved into the marble. Within Bobali's context, the statue adds heroic drama to the garden's emotional palette. Unlike the serene abundance or the contemplative Adam and Eve, Helen and Theseus brings raw conflict. This is the Bobali garden saying, we're not beautiful, we're emotionally deep. It's not just all beauty, but there is conflict in life. Now, after all of that mythological kidnapping, let's move on to something that's a little bit more exciting and enlightening. The Bobali Gardens does know how to have fun.
This delightful and slightly ridiculous statue is called Gioco del Sacco Mazzone, meaning the game of hitting each other with big cloth sacks. Yes, I promise I'm not making that up. Carved around 1620 by Romolo de Tarda after designs by Orazio Mocchi, this sculpture breaks away from the grand myths and biblical moments. Instead, it captures a slice of everyday Tuscan life. Two boys, blindfolded, swinging padded sacks, trying to strike each other while stumbling around. Emotionally, it's pure joy, confusion, laughter, physicality, spontaneity. Even in the marble, the figures feel mid-motion. Bodies twisting, legs stepping unevenly, cloth bags raised. The sculpture captures the tension in their muscles and the unpredictability of the game. Compared with the other statues we've seen, this one feels warm and human. It reminds visitors that Bobali isn't just created for solemn reflection, it's a place for delight, surprise, and scenes of ordinary folk existing alongside gods. The Medici understood that gardens should reflect all of life, the sacred, the powerful, the dramatic, and the joyous. The statue stands for that joy.
So in this short walk, we've experienced 4 emotional worlds. The vulnerability of Adam and Eve, the serene authority of Athena, the violent drama of Helen and Theseus, and the playful chaos of Sacco Mazzone. Together, they tell us exactly what Bobali Gardens is. It is a living encyclopedia for human feeling. It is a stage for myth, morality, humor, and power. It is a place where nature becomes theater and art becomes environment. Ciao ragazzi!